Hi, this is Emily from emilywolf.net, and today I'm going to show you how I created a scrapbooking layout using the Project Life app, and then I'm going to import it to my computer and do some editing in Photoshop. So the first thing I did was click on the blue wedge in the circle, and now I'm going to add my photos, which I have already saved to Dropbox. So you just have to click on the space where the photo goes, and it'll pop up and show all the places that you can get your photos from. I just happen to have my photos in the Dropbox app. So what I'm doing now is going into the Dropbox folder and selecting the photo that I want to put into the layout. So now it's loading. And here's the first photo. I'm doing a layout of the favorite parts of my house, hence the wall of photos. So now I'm going to click on the photo again, go back into Dropbox, go to photos, and then add the photo that I wanted here. So I'll try to explain a little slower here in detail. Okay, so I go to the next box, the blue box. You hit the left hand icon for photos, hit the Dropbox app, and mine happen to be stored in the photos folder, and I've already got them separated. So now I'm going to choose the next horizontal photo that I'd like to use. And now I'm going to get the last horizontal photo, so and now I'm adjusting it. Making it just a little bit bigger so that way it's more centered. And now that left icon for pictures, Dropbox, and then I'm going to pick the last horizontal photo I have. And it will load up into my layout. Now I am picking my 3x4 photos that I want to add to the layout. So I'm just doing the same thing, going into the photos section and going into my Dropbox app. Now I want to add some Project Life cards to my layout. So I'm going to click on the right hand icon this time instead of the left side, and it shows all the kits that I have to download. So I just go ahead and pick one. I think this is Amy Tangerine cut and paste mini kit, and I really like it. It's kind of has some like vintagey type cards in it, so I went with that just because I think they're cute, not necessarily because they like overly match or anything. I'm going to fiddle around with them in Photoshop and change them a little bit to make them match more. So here I am adding a journal card, so I'm just picking which one I think, and I play around a little bit to decide which one I like the best. Then I just kind of play around here to see where I want the cards exactly. I do this quite a lot here, trying to decide, and I finally just settle it on the original way that I had it. And that's all I'm going to do in the app for this side of my layout, for the left hand side of my layout. So now I'm going to save by clicking on the little box in the bottom right hand corner that has an arrow pointing up out of it. That's how you export them. So I'm going to click on that and I'll be able to save it from there. So I hit export, 12x12 image, I always choose that. And here I have the option to save the image to my camera roll, or I'm actually going to AirDrop this to my MacBook Pro laptop. So I went ahead and added or AirDropped that to myself. And now I'm going to start on the next page. So I go back to the main screen and hit that blue wedge again, and I'm going to start page 2. So once again, I add my photos via the Dropbox app, and I'm going to speed up the video here a little bit so you don't have to watch all of that over again. I'm just going to go ahead and add in all of my photos. Now I'm going to add my project life cards into those last 2 3x4 card slots. And I'm going to stick with the Amy Tangerine cut and paste mini kit just so it's a cohesive layout. And I think those 2 cards look good, so I'm going to stick with those. And now it is time to airdrop those to my MacBook. So once again, I'm going to hit that square in the bottom right hand corner and export a 12x12 image. And you can save the image to your camera roll, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and airdrop it to my MacBook Pro. And now I will show you how I edit the layouts in Photoshop. I have already opened the layouts in Photoshop, and now I'm just going to start working on them. So this one is the left hand side, and the first thing I'm going to do is play with the background color on the heart card. I decided I like this pink that's here in the flowers, so I'm going to duplicate my background and then use my paint bucket tool to paint the background a pink color. But as you can see, the pink kind of covered up the heart, some of the pieces in the heart. So what I'm going to do is create a layer mask on my duplicate layer and just erase those pieces back because I don't want them to be pink. So I'm just going to put them back so that they look, so it looks natural. The next thing I'm going to do is add my journaling to my empty card. And there's 2 ways to add your text into a shape. I'm going to show you both ways in this video. For this video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom shape and then put your text inside of that. So you want to come down to the pen tool and click on that, and then you're just going to click to make dots, and when you click the next space, it automatically connects them. So I'm just going to draw a shape where I would like my text to go in a little helpful tint. If you hold down the shift key while you're drawing your lines, it'll draw a straight line. So that's what so if you hit shift and then click it, it draws a straight line. Like, so it might edit where you're clicking exactly to make it straight, which is nice for these straight lines here. So I'm just making a shape, and then when I'm done, you just hit that button to connect them, and it finishes it. So then I hit T for my text tool, and I just put my cursor inside the shape, and I was able to start typing. So that's a pretty nifty tool for the scrapbooking, because otherwise it can be hard to get your text to go actually on the card and to be able to fill the card all the way up. So that's a nifty tool when it's not a perfect square or a perfect rectangle. That's an easy way to do a custom shape. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video because it takes me quite a good while to do my text. because I do a lot of adjusting and readjusting between the font size, the font color, the spacing between the lines, the spacing between the words. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up so you don't have to be bored to tears watching that. Almost done. Hang in there. Just a little bit longer. And we are done. So now I'm going to zoom out and just take a look at my page and see if there is anything I would like to add or change. One of the things I wasn't able to fit into my journaling on the journaling card was the fact that the photo gallery wall on the top left is my most favorite part of our house. So I decided to go ahead and add some extra text to just put over top of the layout to share that. And I decided to play around with putting it on the wood veneer card, but I ended up changing my mind and putting it directly onto the photo itself. What I'm doing is just flipping back and forth between my layouts to see if there's any colors from the left hand side that I want to bring over to the right hand side. And I'm kind of playing around with that for a little while. It takes me a little bit of time to decide on changing the background of this first card on the left, changing the background to that same pink color that I used in the first layout. So I'm just playing around, trying to figure that out until I finally settle on it. Then I decided to play around with the opacity because the darkness of the pink wasn't my most favorite, so I just decided to play around with that to lighten it up a little bit. Just kind of flipping back and forth between the pages to compare the pinks and make sure they don't look too different. So I was trying to make a straight line here and mask that pink out of that line, and I was having a little bit of difficulty, and then I had kind of a brilliant aha moment where I thought, if I could just find a straight brush instead of a round brush, then this would work so much better. So I decided to go into my brushes and look and see if I had anything, and I found the perfect brush, which is one by Elise Blaha Crepe that she had created, and I use it to make a straight line, and it worked like a charm. Now what I'm going to show you is how to make a text box to keep your text in. So I use the text tool and I draw a box for where I want my text, and now I can go ahead and type it in. So this is the other way that I constrict my text to one spot, besides using the shape tool, which I showed you earlier. I use these two features to put text on my Project Life pages all the time. I'm going to speed up my video so you don't have to watch me add the text, because like I've said before, I do a lot of adjusting and readjusting and playing, so it literally takes me the most time out of everything to do my journaling, because I'm just so picky about it. To add more journaling to the pink card on the left. So I'm going to do the same thing again here by drawing a rectangular text box. Instead of doing a custom shape, I'm just going to draw the rectangle. To change the text color of my text on my second page, my right hand side page, so that it matches the first, so that I have a more cohesive look. Now I'm gonna go ahead and flatten my images, since I am basically done editing them in Photoshop. And then what I like to do is put them side by side, so I can just kind of see them, how they'll look while they're in my book. So I'm adjusting the sizes now so I can just see them next to each other. One of the things I've noticed was that the wood veneer card is just missing something. It needs a little bit more. So I have decided to go down through my brushes and see if anything I already have fits. Otherwise, what I would probably have done would be, after I print the page, I would have used physical products like wood chips or wood veneers or chipboard pieces, something like that, to add some extra oomph to the card. But I ended up finding a brush that was perfect for this layout, so I went ahead and used that instead of doing a physical product. I spent some time playing with the colors, deciding what color I wanted to use and what size I actually wanted the brush to be. So that's what you see me doing here, is just playing around. And I do a lot of that when I'm creating or adjusting layouts. I should say, not creating layouts, but adjusting layouts in Photoshop. It's a lot of fun for me to play. That's why I enjoy doing it, and that's why I do it. And so I've decided that the layout is done. I like it how it is. So all there is left to do is flatten the images, save them, and print them. So that's that pretty much. It took me a good probably 45 minutes to make these layouts from the app into Photoshop. The whole thing took me about 45 minutes. I hope that you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something new. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to visit us at emilywolf.net.